Welcome to Easy Insight Shorts. This is the video series of our well-written academic literature summaries. This week we're talking about violent video games and their relationship with aggressive behaviour. Let's get into it. Computers. They're ubiquitous in modern life, but there was a time when they didn't exist. For the sake of the story, let's just call that the early 80s. Since then, children have grown up with technology in their lives. Let's look at the advancement of video games now. Gen Y arguably had the worst of the tech, with the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo and Mega Drive 2. Let's face it, those options weren't great, although some in our audience may disagree. The millennials got it slightly better with the advent of the PlayStation, Nintendo 64 and their associated games. Now though, Gen Z are playing in a whole new realm of video game bliss, with the Xbox and PlayStation duopoly. Gamers have an almost unlimited choice. Either way though, there's been a perennial parental problem. To what extent are these video games influencing our children's lives? And is it for better or is it for worse? Psychologists at the University of Reading and the University of Oxford, yes, their studies are strictly all British affair, wanted to observe the phenomenon a little more closely. Here's a very studious psychologist to help you picture the scene. Their subject matter? Well, they chose to delve into the behavioural effects of violent video games, and it is one that's perhaps slightly more polarising than, say, Zoo Tycoon. Okay, not that funny. The study took a sample of 14 and 15-year-old boys and their respective parents or carers. They were handed a survey to fill out on the teenagers' video game exposure. This asked them two things: what games they played, and for how long each day they played those games. Each video game was coded using official ratings to determine its level of violence. The parents and carers also filled out a strengths and difficulties questionnaire, which is designed to screen aggressive behaviour. The results of the study? Well, perhaps surprisingly, video game play is not associated with carer assessments of aggressive behaviour. Now, before you go waving this evidence in front of your parents who have long since given up responsibility for your now adult life, consider the following limitations. First of all, data is self-reported, which means results can be limited by the extent to which participants can successfully observe and describe violent behaviour in teens. Next, the enduring or compounding effects of long-term game exposure was not accounted for, as the study was only a snapshot in time. Finally, conclusions were made based on population inference. The results found were extrapolated, and background effects such as education and prior experience with virtual environments may play a more significant part in violent behaviour. So there you have it, why violent behaviour in teens is not associated with Call of Duty, or other associated violent video game. Thanks for tuning in.